Hello and welcome to Racing with the Leader, episode 2. This week we're joined by Emma White, General Manager of Limerick Racecourse. Emma is going to be talking to us about her life in racing, her years as General Manager at Sedgefield Racecourse, show jumping, and her general love for horse racing. Emma, how are you keeping today?
Yeah, I'm really good. And the sun is shining, which doesn't happen very often in Limerick, I've found out, but it's absolutely beautiful today.
It is. We won't complain now. Say groundsmen all over the country are complaining small, but we won't complain. We'll enjoy it while we can. Colin, how are you? Are you over Cheltenham?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, fantastic 4 days. I mean, a really successful festival for Ireland. 18 Irish trained winners, some fabulous stories, and it's a special event. No two ways about it.
Yeah, exactly. The story's going to touch all corners of the country, from small owners syndicates to big owners. It was a fabulous week. Emma, did you get to watch much of it?
Yeah, I did. I was back over in the UK and I was actually invited down to Cheltenham on the Thursday, but I decided to stay at home, spend some time with my family and watched it on the telly, and it was brilliant. Rachel Blackmore winning the Gold Cup was just the pinnacle for me. She's really flying the flag for females in racing in general, and she is smashing it out of the park. Apart from my daughter now wants to be a jockey, and that's all her fault. So I'll be having a word with her when I see her at Limerick next. But yeah, brilliant.
We've another £7 claimer on the way, so young White, have we?
Yeah, you do actually. And she'd probably be a flat jockey. She's absolutely tiny. She loves the jumps. She absolutely loves the jumps. So yeah, watch out for that one. Yeah.
We'll have to line a race up for in Limerick in a couple of years' time.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm desperately looking for a racing pony. So if anyone's listening to this and they know of a racing pony, give me a shout.
There we go. Plug for Emma White and a racing pony. We'll get out there in the socials, Emma. Colin, do you want to have a quick chat there with Emma about her background and how she came to come to Limerick?
Yeah, just in general, Emma, did you grow up in a racing horsey family, or how did that love of horses come about?
No, honestly, I can't tell you how no that is. Nobody in my family liked horses whatsoever. And then my father read Black Beauty to me when I was teeny, when I was about 5. And that was it. I was totally obsessed and made them take me to a local riding school. And it went from there. And then still, because they knew nothing about horses, my parents, I rode then for other people. So I would go and muck out the local riding school and help, and then ride horses, and on it went. And I actually bought my very first horse of my own. I've been riding a lot of other horses for other people, but my own with my very first wage packet from British Steel. So that was my first horse that I owned myself, and I bought her. She was I think she was 2 or 3. No, she was 2, and she was unbroken, and she was absolutely wild as a cat. And I broke her with myself, and I lost her only 2 years ago, and she was 29. So she kept me. I kept her all that time, and I evented her and show jumped her, and she was just the most awesome thing. But she does still hold the record for putting me on the floor in the least amount of time. I got off very quickly, and then I got back on and she threw me straight off again. So yeah, she taught me a lot, that horse. But yeah, so no is the answer. Not a horse racing family at all.
Sure. And you competed in 3-day eventing and show jumping, Emma. Yeah. At what level did you compete?
Eventing, I got to a really quite decent level, and that was part of the wedding deal, actually, that I packed eventing in, because it was the year that everybody, there was some really serious injuries and unfortunately some deaths. And it's still classed as the most dangerous sport in the world, would you believe, 3-day eventing. And so my husband to be at the time, put his foot down, which is quite amusing because I don't usually take any notice of him whatsoever. And I really didn't like dressage that much, if I was completely honest. And I was always better at show jumping. So as part of the wedding deal, I packed eventing in and went pure show jumping, and was very successful. You know, I jumped at a very decent level. Hickstead, some of the Sunshine Tours in Europe. I took on young horses and brought them on and sold them. But I did do some braking for the likes of John Gallagher trainer, and I rode out for John Spearing. That was an experience, I can tell you. He's a fun trainer. So I did start to get into the racing scene even at that level, although show jumping was my life for quite a few years.
Sure. You worked for Go Racing in Yorkshire. How did that come about? Was that your first job in racing as such? And how did that come about? And just, the initiative in terms of trying to, I suppose, attract more people to attend race meetings at their local track throughout Yorkshire.
Yeah. Look, a friend of mine actually asked me if I wanted to apply for that job, which I thought was a bit crazy because I didn't really know anything about marketing. So I applied for it thinking I haven't got a chance of getting this job. And then unfortunately, or fortunately, I got the job, which was a bit of a shock to me and everybody else, I'd say. And so I looked after all the marketing and communications, ITV features, radio for the 9 Yorkshire racecourses. And when you think of those 9 Yorkshire racecourses, you've got some real big ones. You've got York, you've got Doncaster. It was great fun. It was brilliant fun, and lots of different initiatives to get people to go racing in Yorkshire, including a season ticket, which got you into all 9 Yorkshire racecourses. The big summer festival, which I organised, which was racing on 9 consecutive days at each of the different racecourses. I can't tell you how tired you are after those 9 days. But yeah, it was like crazy travelling circuits. And from the first time I took that summer festival on, we got over 100,000 people to that summer festival event each time, each year that I ran it. And, it was brilliant and exhausting. And I worked every weekend from April to November. So when the opportunity came up to run Sedgefield Racecourse, and I felt that I'd got Go Racing Yorkshire as far as I could get it, I jumped and went to run my own racecourse. After doing all the marketing and stuff for the 9 Yorkshire racecourses, I fancied having a go at running my own. So that's what I did.
Sure. And you became manager of Sedgefield. Yeah, I mean, what was that experience like? And how much could you take from your previous experience with Go Racing in Yorkshire into that role?
Quite a bit, really, because the marketing at Sedgefield was pretty poor. To be honest with you, Sedgefield, it was lacking a little bit of tender love and care when I got there. Look, it's a small racecourse. It's a small national hunt racecourse, but it's a really good grassroots racecourse. And it's a tricky track to manage because it's one of the narrowest tracks in the UK. And in all honesty, that has set me in really good stead for any managing any racecourse, because if you can keep the ground at Sedgefield, then you can keep the ground anywhere, because it's you after the first race meeting you're looking for fresh ground. so yeah, it's tricky. But I turned it around, and there was nobody going to the restaurants. The owners and trainers was a bit pitiful, and by the time I left there, there was a real buzz to the place. The restaurants were full. Owners and trainers were packed, and I left it with my head held high, and I left it where I thought it needed to be, and long may that continue. It was building my team there was the most important thing, and to be honest, telling them that I'd handed my notice in was one of the worst days of my life, and I don't want to do that again for quite some time. So Limerick stuck with me, I'm afraid.
Sure. I suppose, like, you've got, what's termed industry days, midweek meetings, middle of winter, cold, dark. It's difficult to attract people other than the diehard racing fans on those days. But then you have weekends, ladies' days, big events, attractions out for all the family kind of thing. So I suppose it's trying to get that mix, I suppose, between catering for the diehard racing fan and, pumping up your crowd on weekend days, maybe with special attractions that will attract all the family and appeal to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is a real balance, when you're looking at really boosting one of your bigger days, you've always got to keep in the back of your mind that you've got to look after those loyal customers that come to absolutely every race day. And that's a very much those customers at Sedgefield. And I think that's something that I can really bring to Limerick, was the customers, those real racing fans, of which I am one. Those, you've got to look after them no matter what is going on. And I think you can really boost your big days, you can, but not at the expense of those people that are supporting you on a race day in February when you're running on the inner track. You know, it is a balance, but it's doable. And I did it at Sedgefield, so I think I'll be able to do it at Limerick.
Can you remember the day, Emma, you got the call from Limerick about the possibility of coming on board or taking over as general manager? I mean, had you been to Limerick before or been to Ireland much?
You know what? I actually thought it was one of the jockeys taking the mick. And I'm not joking, right? Because I've got a great relationship with quite a few of the northern jockeys. We've known each other for a lot of years. They've done media work for me in Go Racing in Yorkshire. And then when I took over Sedgefield, so I actually thought it was one of them taking the mick, and I'm not going to lie. So I played along with this phone call. And then as the phone call went on, I thought, God, actually, I think this guy's serious. So I had a look. I hadn't been to Limerick. I'd seen it on the telly because I always watched it over Christmas. So I had a look, and I had a real good look at the track. And I rang a few people. I spoke to a few jockeys that had ridden here and knew the track. I spoke to Alan Corley, who's a fairly local lad, but is now over in Yorkshire. And we all call him Squeak as well. So whenever I say Alan Corley, it doesn't feel right. So I spoke to Squeak, and I spoke to Brian Hughes and Sean Quinlan and Richie McLernan, and they said I would be crazy if I didn't at least come over and take a look at the place. So that's what I did. And before I got back to the airport, they'd offered me the job. So,
very good. And obviously with a family and that, Emma, it's a big move. It's a big move to up sticks and you know, head over to Ireland. So, and obviously, you know, we're still in the pandemic, coming out of it, hopefully. But, you know, there's all that to consider as well when you make such a career move like this.
Yeah, my husband's used to me doing crazy stuff, to be fair. So nothing surprises him anymore whatsoever. I mean, I had a six-figure salary, and I walked in and said, yeah, I'm packing that in, and I'm just going to bring on show jumpers and sell them. And he went, oh, okay. I said, in fact, I've done that. And my notes went in, and he was like, right, okay. Oh, well, yeah, if that's what you want to do. And it's always been a little bit like, oh, God, you know, what's she going to say next? And when I walked in and said, look, I've been offered this job at Limerick, they're offering me the job. And he kind of Googled the race course and everything, and he just shook his head and he said, look, you're going to have to do it, aren't you? I said, yeah, I am. And we'll make it work no matter what. You know, he had an office in Holland, crying out loud. So we've always done kind of quite crazy things, and we've always made it work between us. And yeah, he's been really supportive, which is fabulous, and has let me kind of run away to Ireland. Yay! So that's good. Sure.
I saw an interview you did, Emma, where you mentioned, I think you're moving 3 dogs, 7 horses, and 3 ponies. Is that in progress at the moment, or will that be later in the summer before you get everybody?
You know what? It's going to be 6 months to a year. I mean, it really is. By the time we get everything sorted out in the UK, I'm going to have to get some of my horses over because I'm going a bit crazy not riding, if I'm completely honest. But yeah, it'll be 6 months to a year, and the flights are short and easy, and popping back on a weekend when we're not racing, or during the week if we are racing, is working at the moment. Everyone's happy. My daughter's happy. Husband's happy. The dogs aren't very happy. One of my dogs in particular is particularly unhappy about me not being at home, so she might have to come with me, I think, sooner rather than later. Do you know what? At the moment, the plan is there is no plan. And we'll get here eventually. So yeah.
Obviously, the profile of Irish racing, whether it's national hunt or flat, in the UK is extremely strong with all the success there's been in the flat classics with Coolmore, Aidan O'Brien, and the other top flat riders. And then obviously in Cheltenham, last couple of years, Ireland went from a time back in the 80s. I remember having one winner at Cheltenham to now dominating the Presbytery Cup. Just one thing that struck me about last week was the number of English-owned Irish trained horses that won at Cheltenham last week. Do you think prize money is a factor there, that maybe English owners who might traditionally have kept their horses in training in the UK have decided to relocate because the prize money in Ireland is better than it is in the UK in general?
You know what? I think it's a factor, but I think it's a very small factor. I think it's smaller than people think it is, actually. I think, do you know what? I think they're sending their horses to the best trainers. And I truly believe that. You know, if I had something that I thought could go to Cheltenham, where would I send it to? I'd be looking at Willie Mullins. I would, and that would be whether I'm at Limerick Racecourse or living in Scotland or Yorkshire or wherever, or America. You know, I think the prize money is a factor, but it's smaller than people think. I honestly think it's the best trainers, and you know, it's kind of one of the reasons that coming over to Ireland for me was just felt like such the right thing to do, because National Hunt over here, which is completely my passion, although I do love the flat as well, I'm very much a National Hunt kind of girl. This is where it's happening, so I kind of wanted to be closer to the action, if that makes sense.
Sure. There's always been a strong affinity between Irish people and horses, you know, traditionally back over the generations, working them on the land and whatever, and then racing them. I know you've been to a Cheltenham preview night or two locally here, and from your, you know, racing so far, have you been struck by the enthusiasm, the passion, the affinity that people who go racing to Limerick or attend those Cheltenham preview nights have for horses and racing and that since you arrived?
Yeah, I have, and it's lovely to see, actually, and through the generations as well, which is really lovely to see. Some really young lads at the Cheltenham preview, up to the oldest. But look, yeah, the affinity with horses in Ireland is astonishing, and what's more astonishing, and I think the difference between the UK and Ireland, is the cross generation. Whereas I think if you go to a Cheltenham preview night in the UK, you're looking at the age range is kind of 45 and above. And that is a frightening thing to be, that you're not getting the younger generation through, where in Ireland, for some reason, whatever reason, you're doing it much better.
Sure. Emma, listen, thanks a million. I'll put you on to Gary there, who's obviously going to talk to you about the fixture on Sunday and looking ahead, Student Day, and you know, your meetings throughout the summer. So thanks for the chat, and best of luck in your new role in the weeks and months ahead.
Thank you.
Emma, big weekend ahead. 7 race card on Sunday. You've got Beth Victor, Hugh McMahon Novice Chase, and then we have the Kevin McManus Champion Bumper. Big 120 horses at entry stage. Are you looking forward to Sunday, obviously?
Yeah, I really am, actually. I think it could be some really good racing. The Grade 3, look, we've got some great horses entered in that. Yeah. I'm just praying that we get through deck stage and they're still in there, you know, and the bumper as well. I mean, wow, there could be some quite serious clashes in that bumper. So I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a proper race day. And the weatherman says it's going to be sunny. Now, I'm going to hold him to this, because he keeps telling me it's going to be dry on a race day, and it isn't. It hailstones on me and it rains on me all the time. But he's saying it's going to be sunny, and that is happy days to me. So, yeah, it's going to be a great day.
Yeah, I know that Champion Bumper, as I mentioned, our podcast sponsor as well, McManus Bookmakers, actually sponsoring the Champion Bumper on Sunday. Like at entry stage, you're looking at Mercury there. Rich Ritchie's horse with Willie Mullins was super impressive at winning the last day. And Impulsive Dancer, obviously, we have a local story there with Richard O'Brien. The horse absolutely bolted up on debut for Richard at Naas, and has since been sold to Simon Miller and Isaac Swade, and has gone up to Willie. So if those two turn up, fingers crossed they do, it'll be an absolute cracker. Obviously, with the weather, how is the ground going there at the moment for you, Emma?
I walked the track this morning, and we are yielding to soft in places. Actually, I'm really proud of myself for saying the word yielding there, because for me, it's good to soft. It's just good to soft. What is this yielding word? Anyway, it's yielding and yielding soft in places. Look, we are going to be drying up, obviously. the track seeing a bit of sunshine. We might get a splash of a shower today, which could just hold us steady. By the time we get to Sunday, I'd say we're probably going to be yielding all round, and that's that's good national hunt ground still and very safe ground still. So I would be happy with that.
Yeah, that's it exactly. I always remember like the place like Cork and Limerick yourselves. It's always good national hunt ground, regardless of time of year. It's always good to soak up the water as well. But especially with Cork racing today, I think they're going as yielding. Fingers crossed he'll be yielding as well. But it's always good safe ground in Limerick. We'll touch quickly, I suppose. You're saying you're looking forward to the Novice Chase there on Sunday. Like obviously we have Gordon's Fury Road there. It'd be great to see Fury Road turn up in Limerick on Sunday.
Oh, I'd love to see him. I've never actually seen him in the flesh, so yeah. Gordon, are you listening? Bring Fury Road, please. If you just bring him to show me, yeah, I would really like to see it. And lifetime ambition as well of Jessica Harrington.
Yes,
that could be another interesting contender. So I'm kind of hoping that's declared as well. We'll see.
Exactly, yeah. So we put a shout out to Gordon and Michael Leary there to make sure Fury Road turns up just for Emma, okay? Just for Emma.
Considering how much money I'm spending with Mr. O'Leary at the moment, with going backwards and forwards to Ryanair, using Ryanair every time. Yeah, come on, bring me Fury Road. I think that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Are you listening to Michael Leary? Are you listening? Emma wants a discount and she wants Fury Road as well. Emma, so look, we'll touch quickly, I suppose, on Student Race Day as well. Like, God, your tickets sold out within an hour. Like, I know it's always a big popular day, but were you expecting tickets to go within an hour? Was it 8,000?
8,000, yeah. Look, it was complete crazy town in this office on that day. And we had a lot of students turn up here as well. God, it was insane. Yeah, was I expecting it? Yeah, I think I was actually. And I've ran student days in the UK as well, and I know exactly what to expect. As long as everybody gets here safely, has great fun while they're here, and gets home safely, that's what we're aiming for. And you know what? If we get 10 or 100 or 1,000 even fall in love with racing, then I think we've done our job. You know, that's what it's about. And I think St. Stephen's Day at Limerick shows that those student days do actually work, because on St. Stephen's Day, there was a real young crowd here. And that is down to initiatives like this. So look, I know it's not to everybody's taste. And I know some people think, oh God, what are you doing that for? But it's a great day. And it's one day of our fixtures in the year. And yeah, it's going to be great fun.
No, you're spot on. I think Colin touched on earlier on. Look, you have to look after your regular race day goer as well. But it's so important to have days like this, as you say. If you can get 10% or even 5% of that, of the crowd that turn up for student race day to fall in love with racing and be regular race goers, even if it's just for the big events, it's so important. Like we have to reach out to everyone in racing. And look, we have our issues in racing, but it's important we highlight the good parts of it as well, and get these young people involved now, because it's plus look, it's great days out for them, and look, it's great days for you as well. It's important for all the racetracks across the country to have days like this as well. So we have fingers crossed now we have a nice, safe and enjoyable student race day. With plenty of good racing as well. Emma, the flat season, I know it's not until April 23rd, but it's something, I suppose, it's massive in Ireland, the flat season. You're kicking off of a Saturday as well, which is probably important as well to kick off on a Saturday or a weekend as well. Are you looking forward to the flat season this year?
Yeah, I am. We've got four flat races, four flat fixtures, and I am looking forward to it. I mean, although I covered Newcastle quite a lot, Newcastle Racecourse, so I'm very used to flat racing. I've never actually had my own track that did flat racing. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be a bit different for me. You know, with the stalls and that side of the organisation of it. But yeah, I am looking forward to it. And I was lucky enough to go on a visit to Coolmore and Ballydoyle. And I mean, what an eye-opener. It was just the attention to detail. The way they treat these horses, my God, I can't tell you. When I die, I'm coming back as a horse at Ballydoyle. That's my wish, because they are treated like kings and queens. Yeah, wow. So I'm really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to seeing some exciting stars and some exciting trainers and jockeys here at Limerick. And we're going to be doing everything to get the ground absolutely perfect for the flat season ahead.
No, brilliant. Yeah, look, down through the years, going through entries and race Coolmore, Ballydoyle have always been good supporters of Limerick. They've sent some good horses down there through the years as well. So long may that continue. Emma, look, listen, thanks so much for coming on. It was an absolute pleasure to have you on. Travel Colin was brilliant, and look, fingers crossed we have a good meeting on Sunday. Get big crowds in. So we shout out to everybody to get to Limerick this Sunday for the big national hunt meeting they have there. Colin, thanks very much as always.
Cheers, Gary. Enjoyed it.
And just before we go, obviously our sponsor, Kevin McManus Bookmakers, they're on course this Saturday at Curra Racecourse. And of course, they're with Emma there at Limerick Racecourse on Sunday as well. So pop over to McManus Bookmakers on social media. We'll have all their tags up to have a look at their prize booths for the weekend. Emma, again, thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks. My pleasure. Nice to see you guys again.
Brilliant. Perfect. Listen, we'll chat again soon. Thanks very much. This was episode 2 of Racing with the Leader.